if I could only figure out how to get my team motivated.
We are never going to get this project done on time.
Oh my God, my payroll numbers are insane. Why are we having all this overtime?
Do you have these or similar employee problems? Do you feel like some of your employees are just there for a paycheck? Tired of recruiting, interviewing, onboarding, and training just to find out you must do it all over again? Then it's time for you to find out how to have outrageously awesome employees. Sit back, buckle up, and get ready because we're about to drop a knowledge bomb on you. Please welcome to the mic the host of the show, the man who puts the human in human resources, the 007 of team building, the emperor of employee engagement, Randy Starr.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of How to Have Outrageously Awesome Employees. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Liz Warren, and Liz is an HR manager with DoubleTree, which is a Hilton product in San Antonio, Texas. Liz, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Randy?
Excellent. I like to get these things started off so everybody can understand you a little bit better. Just tell us, what position you held, what you do, that type of thing, so we can get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, great. So a few years ago, I was working on my master's degree, and I just needed to make some extra money while I finished that degree. So I picked up an HR assistant position at one of our local theme parks. It was just supposed to be a seasonal job, nothing too long-term, but I absolutely fell in love with the whole process. And within 3 months, I moved up to staffing specialist, and 3 months later, I moved up to a generalist, and I was there for a good year. I absolutely loved it. But I decided to go for my PhD in industrial organizational psychology then. And I wasn't sure how the workload for school would affect my, real work. So I decided to work a couple of temp jobs while I did that. And the temp roles I had were an HR coordinator at one of our local hospitals. I also picked up an HR generalist temporary role with Amazon when they opened up a new warehouse over here. And that was exciting. I loved it. But as that position was ending, my old position at SeaWorld opened up, and I had balanced my schoolwork, so I decided to go on back. And I was there for another couple of years, and I saw the HR manager position become available here at DoubleTree. I applied, and I was very excited that I got it.
That's awesome. Those are some fun to work.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely been an adventure.
It makes it a lot easier. I've always thought it makes it easier to what you do while you're doing it, and hard not to have fun at SeaWorld. Amazon, you think would be for that as well.
Exactly. Both of them were very exciting, very unique, and I had the opportunity to really grow since they weren't the typical HR in the office Monday through Friday type jobs.
Right. So you found human resources kind of by mistake.
It was definitely an accident, not something I would ever think that I would have been into, but once I started, I just couldn't tear myself away.
So what is it about human resources that you found so interesting to continue to pursue it?
So at first, I was just interested in the whole recruitment process and how you deal with employee issues as they arise and the different nature of those issues. But as I continued my studies, I found that I was even more excited to read about different leadership styles and change theories and behavioral theories, and then see them in effect at work, and how when you alter, just one thing, whether it's a manager's approach or a training program, it has that long-term effect on, everything, productivity and guest service. And it just really wows me every time I start seeing it in play.
It is. Isn't it interesting? I think it's just so neat how different people interact differently, and not that one's bad or one's good, but some are way more effective than others.
Exactly.
Just because of the way they, treat people or the feeling that they give people. So yeah, I love to learn about leadership and read about leadership and just sit back and watch I've always been a big observer. I like to watch folks that are known to be good leaders and see what they do and how they handle situations. I love it. I like people, so.
Oh yeah,
Like,
people are very fascinating.
Like people watching. They are for sure. Thank goodness. Tell us what you would consider to be one of your greatest accomplishments so far in HR.
That one was a really hard question. I'm thinking about it as far as some of the different things that have occurred in my experience, and a lot of them are very exciting to me. But one of the things that I think I get most excited about and energized to think back on is the developmental opportunities that we have increased at my current organization. The year before I got here, we had maybe 2 promotions from within.
Right.
And that, it's a good amount. We have a relatively small staff, but in the past year that I've been here, I've been working with developing team members from within, and we've had 5 employees over the past year move up, and that, I just love it.
Wow, that's great. And that's important. I mean, I've always thought it was important, and everybody always, you hear that so much. We hire from within, we promote from within, but a lot of people just say it and don't do it. When you can do it because of whatever, in your case, because you probably worked with the folks or developed plans or showed them what they needed to do, that's phenomenal. People, employees are so much better at what they do when they know they have the opportunity in front of them. And now you can point your finger and say, well, look at these 5 over here last year, right?
Oh, yeah. And, even just walking around, you can hear other team members talking, to their peers.
Right.
Well, we can do it. So-and-so did it. And look at where they are now.
Right. It's hope. You've given them all hope. And let's face it, hospitality. I mean, I grew up in hospitality. Hospitality is a tough industry. I mean, especially now. I mean, everybody that I talk to, and it doesn't matter what market they're in, the labor market is tough. It's tough to get talent. So to be able to attract people is important, but to be able to maintain and develop the people that you have so that you can promote them within that's phenomenal. What do you do to help the employees grow so that they can have that opportunity?
So I am fortunate enough to have the ability to talk with the different staff. I know that's not going to be something that's an option everywhere because some places are so big and they have thousands of employees. That's just not practical. But I'm able to talk with the team members and be part of their onboarding and find out what it is that they like and what they're interested in, and try to help guide them, provided that they really do want to, go up, of course.
Right.
So, for example, I have a team member who kind of works over in our restaurant, and he's a server, but he's going to school to get his bachelor's in HR management. So every so often, I have him come over and help me out, and we talk about different things that we're doing. We talk about laws and changes. I ask for his opinion and his feedback and kind of what he's learning, and try to gear that towards what we're doing together. I even had him sit in on an interview for one of our managerial positions just to give him that experience and get his take on, what he thought about the process.
Liz, how many employees at your hotel?
Right now, we're right around 102.
So would you say that all of those people know you?
I certainly hope so. I try to be very visible, know everybody by name.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. I think that is a huge key, that not just hospitality, but I think that's a huge key in any industry, especially if it's labor intensive, that people miss. Mm-hmm. Here we are in such an age of communication where, with a cell phone, you have more power in a cell phone communication power than, we had in buildings 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So but we have all these ways to communicate, whether it be telephone, text message, email, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Facebook, all these different methods that we can communicate, but so much easier just to walk around and shake hands and say, hey. I mean, when you're at work, especially, you know, I mean, those people, even, and you mentioned large organizations, it's tough, but, you know, if you were in a hotel that had 1,500 employees, you'd still do what you did. You might not, they might not all know you, but I bet all the department heads would know you. Because you'd go into the departments, yeah. So that's awesome. So we know everything's not smooth as cake. Tell us about a time when you've helped an employee overcome a particular challenge.
So, and that does happen. That comes up a lot. Well,
right.
Not just with this organization, just with all organizations in general.
Right.
And really, I want to make sure I'm being honest with them, giving them that critical feedback that's sometimes hard to hear. So we did have a team member who, you know, he wanted to move up and he wanted to move into leadership, and, you know, he had the raw talent to do it. He had the knowledge, had the personality, he had the ambition. He just couldn't make himself be on time. He 30, 40 minutes late to everything. And, you know, he'd apply for positions and get told no. I was like, well, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? My performance is outstanding. It's like, well, most of your performance, attendance is part of your performance. And eventually it got down to just being, you know, blunt with him and being, you know, are you a glutton for punishment? What is it? Do you just not want to move up? And he got it. He finally, I think that hit with reality kind of made him click. Oh, it really is bad. So he made the choice to, you know, put his alarm a little bit earlier, to make sure he's getting in on time, to go to bed earlier, things to that nature. You know, it had to be something he wanted to do. And once he realized it was affecting him, he really changed his game and he moved on up.
Yeah, and being honest with folks is, I mean, it's vital. I mean, if you're wanting to help them, you got to, and sometimes it's what they call tough love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you might not want to hear this, but if you want to do what you're saying you want to do, then you might be missing this. So, yeah, that's awesome. I've had plenty of people in my past that have done that with me. You know, they've said, hey, you say you want to do this, but your behavior doesn't match up with that. You know, you need to, if you really want to be a manager, then you need to be, in this case, you need to be here and set the example. What are you going to do if you're 30 minutes late as a manager and all your employees show up 30 minutes late? Who's going to run the shift, you know? That's crazy. That's great, though. Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, in your current position at the hotel, what do you feel is the most important type of training for your employees?
So one thing that I think is beneficial for any employees, but especially for, you know, hospitality and in my current role, is making sure team members know how to communicate with each other. They know how to communicate at all levels. They forget the importance of a smile when you're having a hard day, or, you know, body language. Written communication is a big one.
Right.
I've had a couple people come to me, well, they're saying this and I think it's rude, and then you bring them in and there's something completely different. They're just being short in their email. So I think that's something you can never undervalue.
Yeah. See, there's a perfect example of a tremendous method that we use to communicate email, but it sometimes doesn't come over the way you meant it. So yeah, it's like, oh no, I didn't mean that at all. I don't know. I apologize. I was just in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just in a hurry. I didn't mean that at all. So, hey, what do you think makes an employee outrageously awesome?
So it's all about ambition. I mean, there's a number of things. You can have the knowledge, you can do things right, you can even be a nice, friendly face, but if you don't have that desire to just come in and, you know, really burn through your work and really perform strong. Some people have that ambition to move up. Some people just want to provide better service. Whatever it is, you need to have that ambition to want to do better.
Yeah. You know, I deal with employee engagement on a daily basis. I mean, we do surveys constantly. I do workshops and discovery meetings and that type of things with clients, and go in and do like consulting work. And I don't know when it happened or where it happened or how it happened, but at one point in time, you know, we evolved from the employee satisfaction opinion surveys and that kind of stuff into engagement. But somewhere along the line, we put all of the responsibility on the management to be the person that's responsible for the employee's satisfaction or engagement. And I don't agree with that at all. I think the employees it's almost a 50-50 split. It might not quite be a 50-50, but it's almost a split down the middle. I mean, I never felt like my behavior at work was totally dependent upon my employer. It was me. I have the choices that I make to go be a good person and go above and beyond with all the guests that I deal with, and have a smile on my face like you just mentioned, and have the ambition to grow and want to learn more so that I can serve better and help more people. But somewhere along the line, we got I think we got it backwards, because, you know, management or the actual company can't be 100% responsible. I mean, I don't think that's fair at all. So, yeah, that's great ambition. It wouldn't. Now, what would your life be like if everybody that you hired came to work was completely and totally ambitious every day?
It would be a cakewalk.
Wouldn't it? But we're dealing with people, so that's not going to happen. Hey, Liz, I've only got one more question for you. I know you're busy. This one's really not for me. This one is for someone who is either new in HR or possibly thinking about getting into HR. What words of wisdom would you give them to help them be successful?
So I definitely think it's important to take a holistic approach to human resources. It's very easy to look at, oh, I'm just here for the employees, or I'm just here for the organization, or I'm just here for a paycheck. But you have to really take into account everything to be able to really make change and make a difference. In order to get people to, you know, engage with HR, because that's part of the battle. You have to get everybody on board with what you want to do. It's very important to be transparent and to be honest. Tell them what you're doing and tell them why. They understand it, they're more likely to join forces with you. Another thing, think past the quick fixes. I know a lot of people have this I could buy engagement approach, and I just think that's ridiculous. And, you know, I think there's better uses of our time and money. Instead, look at something that we can do to truly, you know, boost morale, get people in line with the values and get them performing. Because if not, we're just going to get, you know, put into that HR box of HR is just admin, or HR is just the party planner. But, you know, that's not the case. We're so much more. And we have to show people that in order to get them on board with it.
Yeah, I agree. I love HR. I think it's changed so much since, I mean, when I first dealt with my first human resources professional, which was in the hospitality industry with Marriott, they were more like, I guess, personnel type people then. They just, you know, they hired you, but then they kept the records and that kind of stuff. But there's so much more now. It's grown so much. And that holistic approach, because you're an employee advocate, you're a business partner, you know, you have a career. So that's a great way to look at it. I really like that. That's new. I haven't heard that yet. That's very, very refreshing to hear. Liz, this has been awesome. I really appreciate your time. I know, I mean, anybody who works in the hospitality industry is constantly busy, because you never know what's going to happen in a hotel at any given time. So thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, and I'm sure it's going to help lots of people. Anything else you want to add before we conclude this episode?
Well, Randy, I just want to thank you again for providing the services. I don't know if I've ever mentioned how much I rely on your posts, and sometimes I read them and I'm like, yep, that just hit me at home right now. So thank you so much for all you do.
Sure. Thank you very much. I appreciate those kind words. We're going to go ahead and conclude on LinkedIn and would like to connect with Liz. Again, she is HR manager for
Thanks for hanging out with us. Please feel free to contact Randy with any questions about team building or employee engagement issues. Subscribe to this channel so you'll be notified when new episodes are published.